tell you what, I could spend a lot of money on what you could buy bullets and do cop cars with.
Yeah, and I know just when I left, it just bought all the new vehicles. So they're all just sitting there, probably installed and tested.
Well, some of the key people are using them from the park.
Let's call this regular council meeting to order, 1800 May 13th, 2021. Order of business roll call. We have everybody in the chambers with the exception of Vice Mayor Payne, who is excused. At this time, we'll have pledge of allegiance and the invocation. If you lead us in the pledge, please, and Councilman Dixon will lead us in the invocation.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father God, I just thank you so much for allowing us all to be here. I thank you for allowing this this form of government in this great nation, Lord. I pray that you give us all wisdom and understanding, and just be with us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. Moving on to item 4, consent agenda from April 22nd meeting.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as is.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any comments or concerns on that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed. Moving on to item 5, call to the public for items on the agenda. We have none. Item 6, new business. Item 6A, APS Wildfire Mitigation Report. Janet Dean. Hi, Janet.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor, Council, for giving me a few minutes of your time tonight. I'm Janet Dean. I'm the Northeast Division APS Public Affairs Manager. And I wanted to take just a few minutes of your time to talk about something that's really on our mind right now and something we're working towards very hard and have been actually do year round. And that is, as we move into extreme wildfire danger, which I think we're already there. There were new starts over in Flagstaff today. So, but it's something we work year round to try to mitigate wildfire risk from our electrical infrastructure. And I think we all know what's happened in California over the last several years. And so there's a high interest in what are utilities doing. And that's why I'm here tonight. I wanted to tell you a little bit about what we're doing. We have a comprehensive fire mitigation plan. One we think is one of the most robust and strong plans within the utility industry that we developed several years ago. It started with us bringing on board a wildfire mitigation specialist, a former firefighter out of the Prescott area, who we've gotten to know through the years, especially with the tragic Yarnell fire. So we brought Wade Ward on board, and he's now we've grown his department, so we have a team of wildfire mitigation specialists who help guide all of our preparation efforts and prevention efforts. And that's what I just wanted to share with you tonight. A couple highlights from our plan. There's 4 components to our plan. The first is an integrated vegetation management program, and this is annual inspections of our transmission and distribution lines to check and ensure that the vegetation in our rights-of-ways and along those rights-of-ways are safe. There's safe clearances for our equipment. We prune trees, we take out hazard trees, we clear brush along our right-of-ways and around our equipment. And we do that through mechanical treatment and also through the use of some herbicide that is all in accordance with state regulations. And this allows us to create those safe areas I mentioned, but it has a second purpose that becomes very important, and that is for the firefighters and first responders. They often use those rights-of-ways as a place to make a stand and fight the fires that we experience in the state. So we are really happy to partner with the firefighters in their efforts. And that second component is we have a defensible space around poles program. So you know our poles, some of those have equipment on them, and with that equipment, there's an inherent risk of sparks. So what we do is we clear a 10-foot radius around those poles so that if for some reason there is a spark, it's gonna land in an area where it's been cleared and there is a much lessened risk of a wildfire. A third piece is, again, something we are really, we're finalizing right now, but we do annual line patrols and inspections. And this year we patrolled nearly 4,500 miles of line that were through highly vegetated areas, highly forested and grassland areas. And these are our overhead lines. We do that in vehicles, on foot, using drones. But the goal of this is to really identify any issues that we might see on the line that's come up over the winter and get those, maintenance and repairs done before wildfire season is really here and there's the super heightened risk. And finally, the fourth piece I wanted to share with you is we have an operational protocol that we are trying to make sure we've done outreach on to educate our customers and communities, because the protocol calls for us to turn some equipment off during times of heightened fire season. And this is equipment on our lines that are designed to automatically try to re-energize a line if there's ever a disruption in the power. Maybe it's a tree branch that's fallen and brushed the line. Maybe it's from an animal or bird that's had contact. Maybe it's from a lightning strike. But those are the kinds of momentary outages you might experience and have experienced at your homes. What's happening is when that interruption happens, this recloser automatically tries 3 times to re-energize the line. If after 3 times it hasn't been able to re-energize the line, it knows there's a reason why it can't, and it stops. Well, we turn that equipment off during this heightened fire season. We're about to do that sometime in the next week or two. We'll reach the point where we say that equipment's got to come off, because we don't want our lines re-energized automatically when they're going through highly vegetated areas, because we don't want the chance of a spark. If it's a line on the ground, a tree in the line, a mylar balloon, a trampoline, which we've experienced, the tarp that just ended up in the line in Snowflake earlier this week, we don't want the lines trying to re-energize until we've had time to get feet on the ground and actually patrol and see what caused that. So that's what we're moving into soon. What we're really doing right now, part of this effort, why I'm here, is we're reaching out to educate as many people across our service territory that this is going to happen again and why it's happening. And yes, we know it's a horrible inconvenience when the power is out, and if it's out for an extended period, which could happen if it's the middle of the night and it's a highly forested area, we're going to have to get our crews out to sea, and we live in some rough terrain in northern Arizona, so we might have prolonged outages, and we want our customers to know and to be assured that it's because we're trying to keep their safety top of mind. So that's really what I wanted to share tonight. We are, as I said, reaching out to our customers. We've sent between emails and postcards to about 160,000 customers, most likely to be impacted by a prolonged outage, to tell them why. And we're going to continue to talk with our customers and reach out through social media channels as the summer moves forward. But we wanted you aware, in case you hear from any of your constituents, why has the power been out for so long? We want you to know why and help us remind our customers what we're doing. So with that,
could I just make a comment? So like here in Holbrook, where there's a lightning storm, the power will go off and on and off and on. And after 3 times it usually goes off. But now what will happen during this heightened time, it'll go off and maybe be off for an hour, right?
Yeah, there is a likelihood. Now, not all of Holbrook, I'm not exactly sure which areas of Holbrook fall into these heightened restrictions, but lines around and coming into Holbrook could. So yes, there is a likelihood that you, instead of seeing a momentary blink because there's been a lightning strike, you might experience an outage until we get a crew out to, or one of our troublemen first responders out to see what caused it. And they'll either find the cause or they'll patrol the line and not see any reason not to turn the power back on.
Councilman Dixon?
So when you say that you'll shut things down, you're just not shutting down a line, you're shutting down its response, its 3-cycle.
It's a piece of equipment called a recloser that's on the line, and we go out and manually turn those off. So that's what our team will do. As soon as we get word from our fire mitigation team that the conditions have reached that point, then we'll have our crews deployed across northern Arizona turning that equipment off. So no, we're not turning the power off to the line. One caveat to that is if there is a fire that's in proximity to one of our lines and for firefighter safety, we need to turn it off so they can work safely under or around that equipment, then we will de-energize. We had that situation last year in Tonto Basin during the bushfire. We had to take the whole community out, but the firefighters did an amazing job, and we actually were able to turn the town on much sooner than we had expected.
And how do you notify the public of that?
Oh, a variety of ways. We'll work with the counties using their notification systems. We can tell them what area, and they can go do a geographic poll of folks within that area who've signed up for the county alert system, the Ready, Set, Go system, and they'll make outbound calls or texts or whatever method they use. We also will do the same with our customers. We have a way to do an outbound call to our customers, and then I use social media channels. I coordinate with Fire Incident Command, and they're using their communication channels also.
Thank you.
Anybody else any questions for Janet? Janet, thank you.
Well, thank you, and again, thank you
Good
for
to
your
see you
time.
again.
It's good to see all of you.
Okay, moving on to item 6, new business. B, resolution 2105, resolution approving and adopting an intergovernmental agreement with Navajo County regarding employment of magistrate court. Read this by heading only if we have no other opposition. Resolution 2105, a resolution of the mayor and the council of the city of Holbrook, Navajo County, Arizona, approving and adopting an intergovernmental agreement with Navajo County regarding the employment of magistrate clerk. Chair will entertain a motion.
I move that we approve this statement.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. At this time, do we have any discussion or concerns on this item?
I want to make sure that we're clear under paragraph 5 in general. This is a 5-year term, is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Other comments or questions?
Yeah, well, yeah, just clarification on that, because this isn't resolving the IGA, it's just modifying what,
Just basically updating what we had in place.
yeah, that 3A, okay,
That's all it is.
okay.
Being a resolution, it'll be a roll call vote.
Councilmember Dixon,
Aye.
Councilmember Kester,
Aye.
Councilmember Marsh,
Aye.
Councilmember Nielsen,
Aye.
Councilmember Wolford,
Aye.
Mayor Young,
Aye. Motion passed. Moving on to item C, resolution 21-06. A resolution designating authority to execute a grant to reconstruct the airport apron. If there's no objection, I'll read this by heading only. Resolution 2106, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Holbrook, Navajo County, Arizona, designating authority to execute a grant to reconstruct the airport apron. Chair will entertain a motion.
So moved. We approve resolution 2106.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Open for discussion. Councilman Dixon.
So the apron, Mr. Soltis, is that part by the hangars, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Where they park their airplanes?
Right, and so you know, this is just the engineering part of it. This is in preparation for a bigger grant, which would actually do the work.
Okay. Thank you.
And the good news about this particular grant, there's no match. It's 100% paid.
Mhm.
Now, when it comes to actually doing the work, there'll be a match.
Any other comments or questions?
I just had a quick question. So the FAA pays $163,839.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, being a resolution, will go for a roll call vote.
Councilmember Dixon,
Aye.
Councilmember Kester,
Aye.
Councilmember Marsh,
Aye.
Councilmember Nielsen,
Aye.
Councilmember Wolford,
Aye.
Councilmember Young,
Aye.
I mean, Mayor Young, I apologize.
Motion passed. Moving on to 6D, Planning and Zoning Commission member appointment. The recommendation, council agenda action form. Let's see, the Planning and Zoning Commission is composed of 5 members. Presently, there are only 4 members with 1 vacancy. The term of the vacancy expires October 15th, 2022. The vacancy was advertised in the newspaper when an individual is applied for the position. Per city code, the qualified member must be a resident, and the applicant is a resident. Per city charter, section 2.05, qualification of the mayor and the council. D, appointments. The mayor shall appoint members of various committees, boards, commissions, after due official notice to the public and with consent of the council. It is the mayor's decision at this point in time to appoint Mr. David Smith to fill the vacancy unless there's an opposition.
I do give my consent.
Okay, no discussion or anything. Mr. Smith, if you'd like to stand up and introduce yourself.
David Smith.
Thank you for your interest, David. We appreciate it. Moving on to item 7, we have call to the public for non-agenda items.
There are none.
We have none. Moving on to summary of current events. First thing is I would like to open this up by sending my condolences to the Wade Carlisle family. It was a very shocking announcement last weekend when we were informed that Mr. Carlisle had passed away in a vehicle accident. And I just want to send my prayers and my love out to his daughters and his wife and his family. Very rough time for them. Other than that, what else do I have? Really don't have a whole lot going on right now. So, we move on to council members. Councilman Dixon.
Yeah, I also want to offer my condolences for the Carlisle family. They had just buried Wade's dad
2 weeks prior.
about 2 weeks prior. So his mother lost her husband and her son within just a few days of each other. And of course, Sandy and the girls, to keep them in our prayers. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Marsh.
I have nothing to add.
Councilman Newsom.
Yeah, I'd like to express my sympathy to Sandy as well for such a tragedy, but there's some good things happening in Holbrook. One of them is baseball, and it's in full swing. Little League is going very, very well. After a year of nothing, I'd like to thank the members of the board, those people who are coaching, supporting, team moms, and there's games going on 4 days, 5 days a week, and it's good to see baseball, which has been a Holbrook tradition since the John Barrow days in the 40s, be what it is. I'd also put a shout out to Kyle Gardner, Kathleen's brother, for an excellent presentation of Little Women last week. What a great play that was, and I'm glad to see the music and the drama getting back to how they were before. And this next week, a week from tomorrow, is high school graduation, and it's getting close back to what it was. Every graduate has 8 tickets, 2 on the floor and 6 in the bleachers, and so it'll be wonderful to see a high school graduation like we had before, and congratulations to all those kids that are graduating. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Newsom. Councilman Wolford.
Yeah, condolences to the Carlisle family. It is a loss to our community for sure. Shout out to Mr. Smith. I think he'll make a valuable asset to this Planning and Zoning Committee. So looking forward to that. Again, it is good to see all them Little League teams out there in the field. So yeah, great, so.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Kester, welcome back.
Thank you, thank you. It's great to be back. I had a great time. I give my condolences out to the Carlisle family, especially to the grandchildren. Not only did they lose their father, they lost both grandfathers in the last year and a half. And that's really tragic. Thank you. My prayers go out for you.
Thank you, Councilman Kester. City Manager.
Okay. There have been some recent concerns brought up about the charter. I recommend that we add this to a future agenda for discussion. In the meantime, be thinking about two available options. First, per Article 16 amendments, Section 1602 Charter Review, the mayor, with the approval of council, may appoint a committee of 7 members of the city to review the charter. That's option number 1. Option number 2, provide the voters with opportunity to vote on whether to continue as a charter community or return to statutory community status. So 2 things to be thinking about. Next, I had sent out a posting on April 29th related to Consolidated Elections. There were some errors on there. Resolution 2110 should have read Resolution 2101. January 23rd, 2021 should have read January 23rd, 2020. A revised letter has been posted. Sorry about the mistakes. We do have a review process in place. Unfortunately, it failed this time. We are humans, we make mistakes, and I apologize for those mistakes. We have our website up and running. It's now www.holbrookarizona.gov. It's been a long time in the work. We've put a lot of effort into that. Unfortunately, our old website went down without our knowledge, and we lost not only our website, we lost all our emails. Fortunately, we were in the process of getting up the new website, so we weren't out for too long. The new website that is in place is based on the old website. Staff really hasn't had opportunity to do a thorough check on it. Essentially, our website provider copied the old website. In the process, of course, errors are made, links aren't there, so just want folks to know that we are in the process of making some corrections. And finally, what that means is this domain name, again, ties in not only to our website, but also ties into our email. So, for example, in my case, in all cases, first name, initial, last name, and then at holbrookaz.gov. So that'll be all our emails, and then our website again is www.holbrookarizona.gov. Finally, we are in the process of, as I've been talking about, getting things ready for Memorial Day weekend. The pool will be opening up, the splash pad will be opening up, putting new carpet on the mini golf course, getting the cemetery looking in good shape. So our guys are really working hard and getting everything in good shape. And Mayor, Council, that's all I got. Thank you.
And just a note to the citizens, that in reference to the website, if you're not getting responses back because of emails, this is kind of like road construction. It's going to be an inconvenience for a while until all the bumps are taken care of. So be patient with us. We're working on it. Ted's been working on it almost on a daily basis. I come in and see him and he's pulling his hair out. He's going to be bald by the time he gets done.
Ted, Mayor, could Ted tell us the emails again? It's first name.
Yeah, so it's your
last
first
name.
initial, last name. So in my case, T.
First.
Soltis.
So like T. Soltis.
That's right. And then it's going to be at holbrookaz.gov.
Okay.
And again, that's also the website, www.holbrookaz.gov. So, most of the communities in Arizona use the same website. That .gov is actually, it comes from the government. Only governments can use the .gov. There are a few that have .com and a few other things. So this is actually going to be working better than their ci.az.us. It's kind of a long, convoluted. So in the long run, this will be good. In the meantime, it's really, you can imagine all the contacts, all the emails, it's quite a big job to make all these changes. We didn't have any choice. Our domain name went away, and we had to make the change.
Actually, the domain name was actually originated by Cybertrails. When did that start, Mike?
It started in 1997 at the power plant.
And I believe if I'm right, and I told Ted it was
You
administered
remember,
by
you were
APS.
there then.
It was administered by APS at that time,
Right.
was it not?
Wasn't it started by that engineer we had that passed away in the airplane?
Yeah, exactly. In fact, at the time, all of our units were coming down and we were looking for ways to generate money from the power plant. And we came up with cyber trails and actually made some money. Not enough to offset our expenses, but it was a way to keep people employed instead of laying people off.
Interesting. Okay, moving on to item 9, submissions of petition, written petitions from items not on the agenda.
There are none.
We have none. Moving on to item 10, adjournment. Chair will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Amen. I mean,
Motion, will you
So
second?
moved. So seconded.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed. There's a section in the back of your folders tonight that is intended for you guys to take home.